John, Andrew here with 813 Exchange. John with Level of Health. Welcome to the show today. Pleasure to have you on.
Thank you for having me on. I'm really excited to be on your guys' podcast to talk about the business and everything.
Yeah, so talk about the business, but talk about your story getting into this. What got you into this? Like, where does the inception kind of start? Is this something that you've always wanted to do, is be in the health industry, or were you in other industries and then you had to change of heart? Like, what did that look like for you?
Ever since high school, I played sports. I was always been healthy, working out, and it just kind of followed me. A lot of my friends were like that. And then when I got into medicine, I ended up working with a chiropractor doing stem cell injections, and then I got into hormones and some other stuff. And then I got administered hormones when I did some training, and I felt great. So then after that, I got more of a functional practice. Unfortunately, then COVID hit. So then I kind of got out of it and went back to the hospitals. But then when COVID ended, I wanted to get back into the health and wellness. That's when I kind of reached out to a friend, my buddy Brian, who's one of my partners. Said, hey, let's do this. I've been on testosterone for 7 years. He was on testosterone at that time, and he said, yeah, let's absolutely do this. And that's where we kind of started. We were just a little office in one of his buildings, and now we got a real big office, and we've transitioned into virtual, trying to treat all the patients here in Tampa. During COVID, I went to New York. I went to Tampa. I worked in Advent during COVID, and then just kind of fell in love with the city. Don't ever want to leave here right now. Going to be here for a little while. We'll have a brick and mortar here very soon. But yeah, no, I mean, I'm in the military still, so we have to stay fit for that. And it's kind of about longevity. You know, you want to feel good, you want to look good, but at the same time, you want to be healthy inside and out. So I know Tampa's a very big health and fitness place, but a lot of people don't do it right. So that was one of my targets. It's like, hey, let's help these people out here and try to do it right instead of just slanging a bunch of drugs at people and sending them on their way and having them unhealthy and screw them up down the road.
Yeah, so specifically getting into that, it's like, you know, wasn't really until I was like in the gym more on like, I don't know if this sounds funny, but more on people that took the gym super seriously versus the people that just go there 2 days a week, get a little pump just to feel fresh. Like, when I talk about the people that are serious in the gym, that's when I started learning about TRT, stem cells, all that stuff. And like, to me, it seems like a new language. Like, I was just like, what are you talking about? Like, I was just used to, you just drink protein shake out of the gym. You know, you take, what do you call it? Pre-workout, and that's it.
Yeah, or creatine or something.
Yeah. Like, those are like, I mean, those are things you learn in like high school, like, and it's just like, oh, well, that's just what you do. So, get into TRT. So what is it for the people that haven't heard about it? Because, like, for the people that are just becoming aware to it but don't really know what it is, like, people question, like, hey, is that like an anabolic steroid? Like, what is it, you know?
Well, 100%. So it did have a bad stigma or rep a long time ago, you know, obviously because of all the juicers, and even today with all the juicers and stuff like that, you'll have all these guys like having heart attacks at young ages. Obviously they're doing it all unhealthy. So TRT is testosterone cypionate, and basically it's a longevity thing. So it's for men and women, to be honest with you. We treat a lot of women with it, and you just want to optimize their hormones. So say you're a guy in his 30s, his 40s, his 50s, and you get your blood labs done, and your testosterone is quote-unquote within normal, like around 200-300, according to, you know, our traditional medicine. But the range for that is like 200 to 1100. So,
yeah,
you know, when you're in your 20s, your testosterone is like 1100. You feel great. You can eat whatever, you can do whatever. Life is fantastic. You got energy. You know, as we age, things kind of slow down. Well, we're not looking to kind of make you Arnold Schwarzenegger or anything like that. You know, this is just kind of optimize it. So get those levels up, see how you're feeling, check out the other labs, make sure there's no other underlying causes for your symptoms. And it's longevity. So let's make you healthy down the road. Let's not only, you know, obviously helping out your physical, but your emotional too. So it can help with brain fog, it can help with motivation, energy, sleep, depression, anxiety, libido. I mean, there's so many positives to it. And another one of the stigmas is it can cause cardiovascular accidents like heart attacks, which
Yeah.
New England Journal last year just debunked that, and FDA still doesn't remove the black box warning, but that's a bunch of dooey anyway. But yeah, so it can be cardioprotective, nephroprotective. I mean, there's so many positives to it. It's just the nice thing is now that stigma's kind of going away with the popularity of it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, no, it's one of those things where it's improvement of life.
Yeah.
And symptomology. We're not trying to take Joe and make him jacked in a month. He's not a gym bro with a mustache trying to go nuts and come out all super monstrous. This is for the everyday guy who just wants to feel better, look better, and be better.
Yeah, and I guess like some of like the, you talk about like some of the bad reps it's gotten. Like, what is your opinion on it with like fertility for guys? Because that's always been like, oh well, if you start taking a bunch of stuff, like you're not gonna be able to reproduce, like type of thing.
That's a great question. So, and the problem is with a lot of so what happens is when you start taking any exogenistic testosterone, whether it's a pill, a cream, a pellet, injections, your pituitary gland recognizes like, hey, we got all this testosterone in the body now. I can kind of take a break. So it stops sending signal down to the testicles for luteinizing hormone, follicular stimulating hormone. So your sperm count like just drops. Doesn't mean you can't have children. No, it's just going to make it very difficult. Now, if guys are doing insane doses, it's going to shut down a lot of things. We personally, I don't prescribe TRT to anybody under the age of 30. We have other medications that we can prescribe, like clomiphene, which stimulates your own pituitary and saves your reproductive, keeps you still fertile, essentially, and works really well. I can't dial it in as good as TRT, but it works really well. But yeah, that's one of the things that will decrease your sperm, and it will, if you're looking to have kids still, it can make it really difficult. So it's definitely one of the questions I always ask.
Yeah, definitely. So like you talk about this range of like 200 to 1100 for like testosterone levels. Like if you're just a random guy out there and you're like, let's say you're 42 years old and you say, well, hey, I just don't feel the same way I did at 32 or 22. Like, and you're like, I'm gonna go check my levels, get blood work done, check my levels. Like what level would this guy look for where he says, damn, this might be worth my time? And then what would a level be like on the inverse where he would come to you and he would tell you this number and you'd be like, I don't think you need TRT?
Yeah, so I mean, we always do a full panel because you want to rule out I can't tell you how many patients we found out that were diabetics or had hypothyroidism or something else going on that was causing their symptoms. So, a lot of times we'll get their labs done and we'll say, oh geez, I see that you have this going on. Why don't you go back to your PCP, have that all taken care of, and then we'll see how you're feeling. Then you can kind of come back and we can talk about options and goals at that point.
Mm-hmm.
So a guy in his 40s, if he's coming in, and the main thing is the Adams score. So it's like symptomology, right? So, do you have excessive abdominal fat? Is your libido in the tank? Do you have softer erections? Do you not sleep well? Like, these are all specific towards men, obviously. And then we draw your labs, and if, you're in your 40s and your total testosterone is under 500, then you're a candidate for TRT as long as there's not a couple of contraindications like prostate cancer or anything along those lines. And then on the inversely side, we always try to optimize it, so we try to get them up to 1,000, 1,100. Some guys may need a little bit more, 1,200. Some guys need a little less. So we try to dial them in, and then we do follow-up labs in anywhere from 8 to 12 weeks. That's a big thing. You want to do those follow-up labs, and you really want to kind of see how they're feeling. Like, okay, when you first came in, your complaints and symptoms were these. How do you feel now? How are you feeling overall? Do you think it can be improved? What do you think? And then we kind of go over things and discuss options and goals. Or, a lot of times we don't have to adjust anything, but, sometimes we do. And then sometimes what happens is the body likes to be at an equilibrium. So if you shoot up that testosterone, if a guy's like 300-400 and you go up to like 1,100, it may take a few weeks, but the body will recognize that and say, oh, we like to be balanced out. So it'll increase that estradiol or estrogen in the body, or aromatase convert. and then you'll get some negative side effects. So that's where you hear about guys having sensitive nipples, or they start having prolactin production. So you hear about gynecomastia or bitch tits or something like that, or they're retaining water. So that's another big thing. And it's almost like clockwork when you hear that from the guys. And then we'll do a quick set of labs if they mention that, and then I just put them on a medication called anastrozole to kind of block the estrogen production, and then they start feeling better in a week. And then it's actually more common than you would think, mainly because there's so many guys with just low testosterone nowadays.
Yeah, and like, why do you think, like, what would you say like contribute to that? Is it like the shit we eat? Is it like is it just a lot of people just working from home in the office, like not moving? Like,
Yeah, our grandparents, yeah. I mean, they were always eating fresh stuff that wasn't processed and crap, and they're out working laborious jobs. So yeah, I mean, their testosterone in 50 is probably higher than guys in their 30s and 20s now, to be honest with you. It's the foods, it's genetics, it's a sedentary lifestyle, it's technology. I mean, it's just kind of how it is and just kind of the direction it's going. Does it suck? Yeah. I mean, it really does. Guys are not as manly as they once were, but I mean, they can change it as long as they recognize it and kind of work towards it.
yeah, I say it's like the thing that's like dumbing down our society in general. It's just like the thing that made it easier, which is technology. It's like, if we think about it, like, I mean, it's gonna sound crazy, but like, I always wonder like how companies like Lowe's or whatever expanded back in the day. So like this big multinational chain with like none of the technology we have now. It's like people actually had to be more like physically active to do that. Like, and that's just a micro example, but like another thing's like I try to do things to keep my brain sharp. So like if somebody says, like, if I ask for directions to someplace, like they'll be like, why don't you just put it on Apple Maps? And I'm like, well, I want to force my brain to like have to like think this road, and be like watching the signs like a hawk, because it like helps me, because like when you just put it in maps, you could be like zoned out and just go to the location, right? But it's like that stuff made our life so easier. So it's like little stuff like that forces, like, it's not just like the physicality part, it's like the mentality part. It forced us to not have to think anymore.
Well, everything's an on-demand world now, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm an older guy, Andrew, so I used to have to pull out maps, and we'd have to have books of maps, or I'd have to remember cell phone numbers out before cell phones and stuff like that. So yeah, and if you don't use it, you lose it. I mean, there's plenty of things if you don't work out or lift weights or whatever. Obviously, the body goes to crap, and then if you don't use your mind, 100%, dementia just keeps getting diagnosed like crazy. Every year it's just getting more and more and more. So it's, why are we not using our brains as much? You got to stimulate the brain. You still got to stimulate the body, just like it's a muscle, right? Everything. If you don't use it, you lose it.
Yeah, no, it's like my grandpa, he was like in his later 80s when he passed, but like, like months before, whatever, like, I think it's because he read the paper in length every day. Like, he was just sharper than most people like my age in their 20s, and I'm just like, how the hell, like, it doesn't make sense. But it does make sense because they just never, because like that generation too is like reluctant to get involved with new technology. Like, they don't want to
can't do it, right? They're like,
yeah, and they're like, oh, I don't want to figure it out.
I don't want the government looking at everything.
Yeah. So like, in a way though, it kept them sharp, and like that's what I worry about it, like with our generation, is like everything's just so easy. It's like you said, dementia is like gonna be a huge thing, because it's like you're forcing people, you're making life too easy for people, where like you're telling like the most important muscle, which is the one between their ears, is not getting exercised.
100%. Yeah. I mean, who wants to get old and get all demented? And I mean, if you're still physically there, you're not mentally. That's awful. I mean, if you've ever had a family member or loved one with dementia, it's heartbreaking. You'd rather see them physically in a wheelchair than lose their, faculties and all that stuff. It's terrible. When I don't know if this is true or not, but when I first started nursing school 100 years ago, one of my instructors, we were talking about dementia. And Alzheimer's and all that stuff, and she said, can you guess what is the one demographic or population that gets dementia the least?
Yeah.
You know, and you're thinking, you're like, I don't have a clue. And it turns out it was nuts because they read the Bible every single day and then throughout the day. So they're always using their brain. They're always reading. They're doing this. They're doing this. I mean, I don't know if it's true, but it made sense to me at that time. And, you know, here I am so many years later still telling people about it. So, I mean, I believe it.
Yeah,
That's not a
so
question.
no, definitely. So, other things you guys do at Level Up Health, because I wanted to get into TRT because that was one that not a lot of people have full information on, but other services you offer, what's becoming popular, what's hot, what's not.
I mean, TRT's hot. The GLP-1s are hot, like tirzepatide.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to. I mean, it's a great way to lose weight. It is. I mean, we always try to develop healthy habits along with everything. You know, we're not like, here's your shot, see you later. Hopefully, you're skinny later.
Yeah.
You know, and a lot of people come back and they're like, yeah, I lost 70 pounds. I didn't change a thing, and that's great and all, but you know, did you change your lifestyle? Did you develop healthy habits? You know, you're not going to be on this thing forever. What are you going to do when you're not on it? You know, so I always drive it home. You know, let's drink more water. Let's eat better. Let's develop these healthy habits. Let's be more active. Lift weights if you can. You know, whatever is in your physical realm or availability, and you know, because I don't want you on this stuff forever. I mean, TRT is longevity, but like the GLP-1s is, you know, it's just there to help you lose weight and hit your goal and then get off it. Where a lot of these places, people are using it like as needed. It's like, oh, I'll take a shot here, maybe next week and do this, and like that's just not what it's used for. Or they'll just be like, yeah, I'm just going to keep doing this so I can go eat a steak every day or go do this or do that, and it's just kind of like that's.
Yeah, counterintuitive.
It's counterproductive. You're just going to hurt yourself in the long run, and God knows what you're going to end up doing to your body on top of it too. So, yeah, we offer that. And clomiphene, which works great. It naturally stimulates the pituitary to increase its own testosterone production. Got a lot of younger guys who want to keep testicular function going, who still want to have kids or whatever on that. We have NAD, we have glutathione, we do IVs. We dabble in a little bit of the neuromodulators like Botox and Daxify and stuff like that. We can offer vitamins and supplements to the patients, but mainly we try to focus on TRT and hormone replacement, and then even the GLP-1s. That's main hot ones with patients, and it's longevity with that. It's going to improve their life in the long run.
Yeah.
As opposed to like right now. Kind of thing.
Yeah, so the GLP-1s is that like more popular? Would you say it's more popular with women or men, or is it like an equal distribution?
It's more popular with women.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of men who we have on it as well, and it helps out. We'll put guys on testosterone and the GLP-1 because they'll be like, listen, I'm in my 40s now, I'm weighing, I'm lazy, I got kids, I want to get back to feeling better and looking better, I need some help. And at first they come to me and they're like, oh, I want to get on TRT. And I was like, well, that's great, but what are your goals? And if the main thing is to lose weight, I'm like, okay, well, maybe you want to get on a GLP-1 for a little while before you get on TRT, or you do them both at the same time, but TRT's not meant to lose weight, so to speak, so it can in the long run, but if your goal is to lose weight and you have a significant amount of weight to lose, tirzepatide. And we use tirzepatide. It's a dual agonist GLP-1. A lot less side effects, a lot less dosage changes. Slightly more expensive than the semaglutide. It also depends on, who you go to and who's offering the service or whatnot. But, I don't even do semaglutide because it just makes people sick. And it's more of a headache, and yeah, they're losing weight because they're so damn sick, so they can't do anything. You want people to still be able to feel okay to live their lives.
Yeah,
right?
and would you say, do you think people come in and they're pushing GLPs, obviously you're like the one that has to make the decision here, but do you feel like some people are pushing it that don't need to be pushing it, and you're like, dude, you could lose weight in a healthy manner?
100%. Yeah. Oh, there's these online places that will.
Yeah.
You don't even need to do a consultation or anything like that. You can just fill out a form online and pay their exuberant costs, because they're obviously going to charge more because you don't even need to do a consultation, and then just lie about whatever. So you get people who necessarily definitely don't need it. I mean, we've had patients come to us and be like, "Oh, I'm just looking to lose 10 pounds," and it's like, well, this really isn't for you then. You know what I mean? How about you just eat better, be a little bit more
don't eat
active?
fried food.
Like just stop. You know, like let's talk about this in general. Like let's not talk about that. Let's talk about what the real problem is here. You know, we also work with we teamed up and partnered up with Be Healthy Tampa.
Yeah.
The lady there, Anita, she's a great. She does dietary and nutrition counseling. She does body scans and all that stuff. So it's like really awesome. She even has like a GLP-1 plan and some other things for all her clients. And you know, it's for the client who wants to make those long-term changes, who maybe needs help or doesn't know how to do it or can't figure it out on their own. You know, and it gives accountability too, because now they have to go do body scans with her, or they have to kind of check in with her and say, okay, yeah, I'm following this diet plan or doing this. They can't just do whatever the heck they want and lie, right? Because there's going to be a scan or there's going to be this or that. So that's always a nice option that we actually give patients to, where a lot of places don't do that.
Yeah, and obviously, like, you know, as I was explaining to you before, it's like for me, like, I just, like I'll tell you, like, I'm trying to build muscle mass, but I've also maintained the same weight because I'm losing body fat percentage, and like, I'm at like a point where it's like been like an equilibrium, which is good. It's okay. But cutting out, you know, like for the person trying to lose 10 pounds, cut out fried food, cut out soda, and change your carbs from like white bread to whole wheat bread, and you're there.
Yeah, drink a little bit more water.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And alcohol is kind of a big deal. So, you know, if guys in their beers or even their old fashions, or women with their wine or whatever it is, you know, if you limit that alcohol intake too, that's so many empty calories right there, right?
Oh, it's brutal.
And honestly, like 10 pounds can be a struggle for some people, but that's why you get labs, and like maybe their hormones are way out of whack. So a lot of females who are, you know, premenopause, perimenopause, or even postmenopausal, like, they'll tell you right off the rip, like, I've been trying for years and I just can't lose it. And it could be stress, it could be cortisol levels, it could be a million different things. So if you balance out their hormones, you don't have to worry about doing anything else, and then they'll just start to not only feel better and have more energy, but then they'll kind of peel off those pounds.
Yeah, no, you know, it's funny, like, my dad knew a guy who's like 300 pounds, and he, like, after a year or so, got really good. He actually just started drinking all his calories in the process of like everything being a smoothie. It was either a protein shake smoothie, or it was like a vegetable smoothie or a fruit smoothie. And I'm like, that's crazy. Like, he didn't actually eat solid food for like 6 months.
He absorbs it a lot better that way.
Yeah.
It's not as fun.
Yeah, no, it's not as fun. It's probably very hard to do, but yeah, that's why I was getting to the point. Is there like, when I was asking you that question, I said there's definitely like got to be people out there that you're like, you don't need this, and they're like, it's just so hard.
Yeah.
Now, for somebody out there, we talk about guys being on TRT, but for the women that have requested it, why that? Like, what's usually the motive?
It's almost the exact same thing. So women, more so as they age, you know, their libido goes away, stubborn body fat. Women are 3 times more likely to be diagnosed with anxiety, more sleep issues, more depression, a lot of other things. So ironically, when I got trained on hormones, I went to West Virginia, and I was like, okay, I'm getting trained on testosterone. This was 7 years ago. So I was like, oh, it's all about men. So I got there, and it was me and 2 OBGYNs from Miami.
Yeah.
And I was like, why the heck are OBGYNs here? This is for men. This is kind of weird. So then when I talked to these OBGYNs, it was the hottest thing in Miami. I was like, okay, that kind of makes sense. It's Miami, but why?
Yeah.
So then the person who's doing the seminar and doing the teachings, she was on it, and she was explaining, like, you know, it's huge for women, you know, because women still want to feel better and feel younger and still be themselves. Like, yeah, you know, they put their bodies through hell, you know, having kids for us and doing all that stuff. You know, we don't have to do that as men. We don't have to worry about all that stuff, but they have, you know, they have their progesterone, their estradiol, you know, they have their testosterone. Their testosterone's very low. So a woman will come to us and say, hey, listen, you know, I have no energy, I have trouble with stubborn body fat, I swear I'm in the gym 5 days a week, I can't lose any weight, I can't get rid of this fat, I have no sex drive. And then we do labs, and they may have like a testosterone of like 12, you know, and then we'll kind of discuss a few things, and then they end up, you know, on TRT, and they love it, you know. And a lot of couples end up on it together because, if the male or the female gets on it first, their sex drive kind of goes up, and then, if the other person can't kind of keep up with it, then they get on it, and then they can kind of, stick together, and it'll improve their marriage. They get excited. They're having more me time together, what I mean?
Yeah.
And it kind of brings a spark back into their relationship and gives them goals, and they can go to the gym together. And it just, it also brings excitement back better, because if you're feeling better, you're going to be better for your partner.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, or whoever, and it's like vice versa. So it's really nice when we can get couples into it. But yeah, I know your question was the females, but yeah, so basically a female will come and be like, I don't want to be on any meds, but this is how I'm feeling, and then we kind of just work it from there.
Yeah, definitely. So, now to get into the business, so you said you're setting up a shop here in Tampa?
Yeah, we're still looking for a brick and mortar. Right now we're only virtual, which is great because we were talking about society nowadays, everybody wants everything on demand and right now. So, we'll set you up with labs. You can run to any lab core. We'll just text you or email you a slip. You just bring in there, get your labs all done. We'll do a video consultation. 9 times out of 10 you'll do it with me or another provider. And then the medication goes right to your house, or you can pick it up. We use a local compounding pharmacy in Tampa.
Mm-hmm.
They're amazing. So a lot of times, depending on what the patient's getting as the medication or whatnot, they can pick it up the same day or the following day. If not, we can still get it, sent to your home within a matter of a couple of days. So it's, you don't have to go into an office. You're not forced to go someplace and have them administer your injections every week. You're not forced to buy all their other kind of crap. I'm not here trying to sell you everything under the sun. We get a lot of patients from a lot of other places being like, oh, I'm on this, and this. And I'm like, well, why are you on that? And then the patient tells me, I don't know. This is what they tell me I need to be on. And I'm like, well, okay, let's cut this out. And this is why, this is why, this is why. So not only are we saving money, but, we're adding convenience and service to their life, because we're always available too. A lot of these places you can only speak to a provider on certain days, or you got to make an appointment way ahead of time, and yada yada yada. We offer a service where we can always communicate back and forth through a messaging service, or you can call us on business hours, or even emails. There's always somebody watching it and able to respond. So we just really try to drive home the service part of aspect of everything.
Yeah.
Because anybody can sling meds.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I understand that. It's very important to be communicative, because I don't know, it's like, the older I get, like, I only like working with like businesses where I can have a personal relationship with somebody. Like, in case I have an issue, I gotta talk to somebody, and it's like, this is the guy.
100%.
Like, I don't want to feel like I'm talking to a corporate robot.
Yeah, I don't want to call and get the runaround for 5-10 minutes. I just want to get my question answered, right?
Yeah.
And nobody's got time for that. I get frustrated too, a little bit of an older guy, so it's like I don't want to call and talk to an operator, or if I'm calling and I got a question, just like you, I want an answer, and it's usually pretty quick, right? Just answer my question, I can move on with my day. So the more you inform patients and the more you educate them, the less they have issues.
Yeah, and that's like something like we'll level up that's like, if you could hone in on that, you'll really get ahead of your competition, because like you see all those bullshit like Instagram ads, and it's like, oh yeah, you put in this, and it's like you get a text from like some like it sounds like it's somebody on Fiverr, or like, I don't know, it's just like, I'm not talking to a real person. It's like, I don't want to go through this process with something with my health, like that, especially something I would put in my body. Like, it's not like I'm, I don't know, ordering something off Temu, you know what I'm saying? Like,
I mean, it kind of is at that point, right?
Yeah.
You never even know what you're getting to, because there's so many different compounding pharmacies out there. But no, 100%. Yeah, I mean, it's like you can go to some of these places and they have these like serial providers that you may, even if you do go consultation, you might get, you might meet Dr. Smith one day, but Dr. Smith is just this guy that was hired through this business, and you may never see Dr. Smith again, so you just get a different provider every single time who doesn't even know you or knows what even going on. He's just paid to write a script, you know what I mean? So that's like another service too. It's like, we get to know you, like we know who you are, we know about your life and all that other kind of stuff and your goals.
Which obviously for like the people out there that are quote unquote you, like just slinging meds, it's like it's easy to do, like it's easy to just get it out there nowadays and try to find who's dumb enough to not actually called the 3 different people like that. Like, this is what I do. I call 3 different people and I ask them for referrals. Like, I used to not understand why people did that. Dude, why do people put themselves through that? Be like, no, because you're saving yourself putting through all our bull crap later on.
Yeah.
But they could just say, okay, men ages, I don't know, 28 to 42. We're gonna run these ads and hope that people would just be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna go on their treatment. And you see that a lot with, like, especially like if you use that age bracket. It's just like stuff like TRT for sure, but like also like men's hair loss and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, all that
Yeah,
stuff.
like they slam those ads on social media. So like guys, once they hit a certain age, it's like they just know, and it's like
They just target.
how do I
It's
trust
marketing, right?
Yeah, because then it's like the hair loss one's interesting for guys because you see like there's like 10 different like options and people are like, well, which actually works,
They all work if you look at their marketing.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's whatever I'm selling works. Don't worry about whatever that other person's saying, right?
Yeah.
And that's really what it boils down to. So, like, yeah, you'll get all that social media marketing, right? And they're targeting whatever, and they do well business wise because their marketing's great, but are they screwing up these people in the long run? And more than likely they are. I can't tell you how many times you hear about a 22-year-old getting on TRT and you're like, what the hell? Like,
Yeah.
this kid doesn't even know what's happening. Maybe he saw on TikTok, he saw another 22-year-old who's jacked and is like, yeah, this is my cycle and this is what I do. And it's like, are you really gonna trust this guy? Like come on. But in a social media vanity world, people are willing to do a lot of things to kind of keep up with the Joneses or whatnot. So
Yeah, that's what we get forced into. Well, what would you say? Obviously, new brick and mortar. What else would you say is kind of the next steps for Level Up?
we want to start doing mobile IVs.
Okay.
Concierge IVs. A lot of people here in this area are really into it. So we're working on right now just getting a mobile IV part of our business where they're going to go out to you, they'll go out to your business, they'll go out to your house, they'll go out to your events, and they can set up and they can do anywhere from 1 to 20 IVs on people, just to kind of help them out, especially with the heat and hydration and all the vitamins and minerals and other stuff we can add to it. It's a wonderful service. The hangover IV, the immunity IV, the hydration IV. There's so many, and you can even customize them to what the patient's looking for. We even do NAD IVs, but those take a long time, and usually it's a process with that. But that's really the next step, along with the brick and mortar. And then, like I said, I have a master injector. I'm going to hopefully try to get out here, and then we'll start doing some neurotoxins and fillers, a couple times a month for all our clients who, they're like, hey, I lost weight, I'm getting muscular, I feel better, but maybe I worry about this or I worry about that. And okay, so we'll offer that service to you too. We don't want to be a med spa, but it's a health and wellness. But mental health is part of that too. If you have anxiety or depression because you're worried about this or worried about that, then you're not healthy. And mental health is a precursor to your physical health. So if that's not in line and not right, your physical health usually follows right behind it. So we try to hit all aspects of that too.
Absolutely. Well, John, super excited. For somebody out there that is watching this that's interested in anything you're saying, or might just even want some advice, where can they find you and your company?
You can go to our website, www.levelupHW.com or leveluptampa-srq.com. You can give us a call. We have a couple numbers. Our 586 number, 229-1014, is our main line, but that offers services to Florida too. We also have a Florida number. I don't have it off the top of my head. I'm really terrible at numbers because, like we said earlier, with all the technology, it's all in our phones and whatnot. But yeah, or you can even go to our website, and we have something on our website that you can just click and it'll reach out to us, and we can reach out to you and kind of take it from there. We also have our social medias, Instagram, Facebook, Level Up TPA, or Level Up HW, and then you can even direct message us through there. And nowadays there's so many avenues to get a hold of us, and we're right there.
Absolutely. Well, John, pleasure to have you on the show.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, it was awesome.